I'm recording this on May the 4th, so it's May the 4th be with you. Or if this gets uploaded on the 5th, Revenge of the 5th. Probably a lot more fun. Alright, so this is my spoiler talk for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, so you've been warned I have a spoiler-free review. You can go ahead and check that out if you don't want any spoilers. Consider that the warning, because I'm going to talk about some spoilers now. I'm not even going to go step by step and talk about the whole movie, just there are a couple of things I wanted to talk about in my review. I just couldn't, because I'm like, no, that's a spoiler. Bummer is, one of the things I really liked in this movie is a spoiler. So I kind of had to leave you hanging, just like, the movie, yeah, but there's some good, well, anyhow, see you in the spoiler talk. So I was just kind of dick, but it's just the reality of the situation. Really, the thing I want to talk about is Kurt Russell, Ego the Living Planet. Now, this movie is completely Star-Lord's movie. It's Star-Lord finding out who his father is, whether or not he's possibly had two fathers. I mean, you know, not blood fathers, but one father, I guess, like biological father, and the other, like, you're a fucking dick, I guess, but I guess you had a heart. The movie starts out, Kurt Russell's all super young. They're getting better and better, making people look young with the CGI face thing. Man, oh man, I was just like, no, that's young Kurt Russell, right? Dude looked young as hell. I genuinely could not tell that whatever CGI they used on his face. I'm only actually assuming it was CGI because it looks so damn good. Could be old footage of Elvis with Kurt Russell, I wouldn't know. But he's put this little flower spore thing on Earth and he's super pumped and he's, you know, banging Star-Lord's mom. He's a planet that was an intelligence that gathered matter around him, and now he's a planet with a literal brain inside of him. But he's learned how to take human form, and now he can be Kurt Russell and go nail chicks on other planets. Life of a planet. Or Saturn. You think about that? I look so cool with my rings, but I'm gassed, so I can't do that. Sucks to be you, Saturn. Man, you can make jokes about all the planets in the solar system, honestly, based on that premise. So anyhow, Star-Lord is bonding with Ego, and at a point, Nebula and Gamora come across this really harsh truth, which is like all these bones, and you're like, what's up with this planet? What are the bones? Now, I had heard Ego the Living Planet was a villain, but for the sake of people who might not know that, I omitted that from the spoiler-free review, so let's talk about the fact that he's actually a villain. Ego the Living Planet's a fucking dick. Who knew? Not only did Ego send Yondu to go get Peter Quill and bring him back, in which Yondu did not, which actually adds a lot of character to Yondu because you thought he was a piece of shit dick in the first movie, and then he's like, I liked the kid. He was great. Oh, Yondu has a heart. So pretty much Ego is like Al Pacino in Devil's Advocate. He's had all these kids, all these disappointments, but this is the one. He's found his Keanu. But he says the one thing as Peter Quill's all hypnotized. He's like, I loved your mom. Broke my heart to put that tumor in her head. And the camera just does that whoa thing. Then he does the Aaron Black fatality from Mortal Kombat X, man. Just starts shredding him. And now they're enemies. He's a dick. He killed his mom. Yeah, planet's gotta go down. And this fight did something. I'm gonna take you back to Blade 1 for a second here. In Blade 1, Deacon Frost, played by Steven Dorff, wants to become Lamagra, the Blood God. So he does at the end of the movie. This Blood God possesses him and his eyes are red. He gets to a sword fight with Blade. Blade takes him down. End of movie. Spoilers for Blade 1. However, if you watch the DVD, I think it's in one of the deleted scenes. It's the alternate ending, and there's commentary with the alternate ending. Originally, when Lamagra possesses Deacon Frost, he becomes this big blood hurricane. It's just a hurricane. And he was like, when we test screened that ending for audiences, we felt the audiences pull back and we just lost them. Because the audience knew Steven Dorff's face as the enemy, as the villain of the movie, and when you took that away and it just became a formless nothing, they were like, why should I care? This movie kind of did that with me and Ego. At a point, Ego kind of reverts and he's the planet now. And when Ego went away, I was like, where's Ego? He's conceptually the planet who's trying to stop them, but again, I was like, reminded me of Blade 1. Kind of lost me a bit right there. Which is a bummer because this movie, unlike a lot of other Marvel movies, concentrates on the villain a lot more. Generally speaking, Marvel movies don't have strong villains. Loki and Obadiah Stane. For the cinematic versions, those are the villains I remember. Thought they did a good job. So when he kind of went away and became a big dumb planet, I was like, whatever. And that's also another scene where one of the jokes really came at a bad time. Like, you know, he was talking about how he turned into a big Pac-Man statue. When he's doing the Superman 2 fight with Ego, he becomes a big Pac-Man. Just bada bada bada. Which I'm not above a Pac-Man joke, but the timing's a bit peculiar. Seeing as how he just found out this guy put a tumor in his mom's head and killed her. Just kind of a weird time, tonally speaking, to pick up a joke like that. Andy has a brain. I'm kind of nitpicking at this point because whatever Ego is in the center of this planet, in the center of this core, is going to be something. There's this big floating brain there, and I would think if there is an intelligence that gathered matter and became a something, why would the brain look just like our brain? I would think it would look different. It's a glowing ball of light, I think, would have been better. Something else. An actual human brain just seems like you're locking it into a box. So really, in terms of the spoiler talk, that's really what I liked. I really liked how they did Ego. They made a memorable villain tied to the hero. I liked Nebula and the things we find out about Thanos, but really, a lot of the execution was just kind of shoddy. Everything with Taserface, other than the joke about Taserface's name, everything with that band of pirates I didn't care about. I'm glad Yondu got his awesome space pirate funeral at the end, headed up by Sylvester Stallone. I did like the Stan Lee cameo in this one, like a lot, because there was a theory out there that Stan Lee is one of the Watchers, and that's how he's in all the different universes. And in his cameo in this movie, he's talking with the Watchers, telling them about stuff. They kind of get bored and walk away, but it does show that he is somehow tied with them. I don't know if it's just a joke, but it happened in the movie. So at that point, because you saw him talking to them, you have to assume and at least humor the idea that all of Stan Lee's cameos among the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Fox movies, all the Marvel movies, they're all tied together via Stan Lee. I think that's really neat. And post-credit scene with Adam Warlock. It's the entire movie. You're looking at these gold people like, why do I give a shit? Every time there were gold people on the screen, I was like, can we get back to Ego, please? And the end of the end credit scenes, Little Miss Perfect Gold Lady is sitting there and they're making Adam Warlock. I was like, gotta ask Schnepp about that. And then he filled me in. I was like, that's why I got you, man. Which does bring to light that, like, the more they expand the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it's gonna be like, yeah, they're gonna be things I'd never heard about. And possibly you've never heard about. It's okay to not know about them. Can't know everything. As in the end, I wanted to talk about this because a big thing that I liked about the movie I couldn't talk about because I didn't want to spoil the whole Ego thing. Now you know. So now that you possibly have seen Guardians of the Galaxy 2, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.